What's up YouTube? For tonight's video, we have a full stored power Pokemon team. This one is for Patreon. If you want your theme done, you can check it out in the description of the video under the Patreon link. Crack, this one is for you. So the idea with this team is the only attacking move I could use was stored power. So I come up with some sets and strategies to complete this team. It was rather difficult. Obviously, you can see there's a lot of definite counters that would come up against this team. Let's get into it anyway. If you do want to battle me, that's in the description of the video on my chat. I take battles there at a random time every day. Okay, this was a battle against Reaper Squirrel. Now we have a Leaf on lead here, and let me run over these. Some of these sets were absolutely amazing, people. So I wanted to run stored power on Leaf on, but I thought, well, let's use sword. I could disguise it as a sword dance user, right? So I could actually use the boost from Sword Dance to boost up the power of stored power. If you don't know, stored power works by boost, like the more stat rises or stat changes you do, positive ones, the higher the base power of stored power gets. Now, this was a stored power Sword Dance Yawn Endure set with Potato Berry. Unfortunately, I got countered there, but I did actually get to use this a little bit later on in the next video, so I'll get you having a look at that one when we get to it. Let's get to this next set. Unfortunately, I didn't get to actually show this one off. This was quite a difficult Pokemon my team was coming up against. So, the next one was a Smeargle. Now, this Smeargle was a timid nature, max special attack, max speed, set with a focus sash. I had stored power, spore, acupressure to boost the stat 2 stages. And I also had conversion, so it conversion me into a psychic type, giving me stab. Okay, so Mianshell's going to wake up there and knock off on my item, which is my focus sash. That's kind of fine, but unfortunately it woke up a little bit too early. I was actually trying to get a speed boost from acupressure. Unfortunately, I got the best. I got 2 special attack rises, right? That was really good. Unfortunately, it was the faster Pokemon, so my Smeargle got countered there. I could have gone for an attack before that with a stored power, but I don't think it would have been enough to take it out. It would have got close, but it just wouldn't have been enough power. Anyway, so Swampy and Curlier, things are not going too good at the moment. So I've got a bulky special defense wall Curlier. It's got Carmine, Pain Split, Stored Power, Will-O-Wisp. It's got the Everlight and the Trace ability, Bold Nature. So I made this one a little bit more defensive. Anyway, so going for the Will-O-Wisp on that, just shutting it down completely. I probably could have done that a turn earlier, but I really wanted to try and get my Smeargle happening, but unfortunately it didn't. Anyway, so I've got the burn on the Mianshell. That's good. That's going to shut it down. It's not going to be able to hit as hard with its physical moves now, so I'm going to be able to tank this easy. So going for the Carmine, trying to set up some Carmine action here with the stored power. The good thing about Carmine is it boosts your attack, your special attack and special defense, so that gives stored power 2 boosts. There's a couple of really there's one really solid Pokemon on my team. The rest were kind of gimmick sets. Anyway, we'll get to that in a sec. So I get it's the only move it can really use against me is Aero Races. Obviously, it can't do anything else. There's no point swapping out or anything. So even with a lot of Carmine boosts, my really only relying on healing is by Pain Split. I was thinking of running a Sleep to Rest top one, but it didn't really work. So I know, surprise, surprise, but I went for Pain Split instead, since even with max health, it doesn't have the greatest health stat in the world. So taking advantage there of being on low health, doing a little bit of damage to the Mianshell, then I can go for a stored power the next turn, which would be more than enough to take it out. Obviously, dark types are a big counter to this because it's a psychic type move. However, I did have a way around that as well. So all my damaging moves were stored power only. Like I had some other status moves to help me around that, but that was it. Okay, so Mianshell's down. That's good. Finally, I get rid of that thing. So a very rough start to this battle. So now we have the Orikoru's Sensu form. So the best I could do was go for a stored power against this, and however, it's going to have the Revelation Dance. Since I'm on a low amount of health and it's super effective, that's going to be enough to take me out. So that's my Curlier down. However, I had another Pokemon that could do something to this. So it's got the Life Orb too for a little bit of extra damage. Now I've got Umbreon. This was a pretty fun set. On this, I've got Max Health, Modest Nature. I've got the Stored Power. I've got Wish just to heal me up. I've got Work Up. Work Up's nice because it boosts my attack and special attack. I've also got Wonder Room on this. So Pokemon I come up against that were really bulky in special defense, I could go Wonder Room. What Wonder Room does is swaps the stats of special defense and defense around. I know this isn't the greatest for Umbreon because it has nice special defense, but it was kind of fun on this set to run. I've also got Psychium Z on that, so I could go for the Z move from stored power as well. Okay, so I'm going to get confused here and just going to keep going for the workups is the best I can really do. Even with max special attack on Umbreon, it really isn't the greatest special attack on the lot. It's really, really bad. Okay, so we have the air cutter again. It's still doing fairly good damage to me since I'm only running, I'm running max health and it's got nice base special defense. That's really what's keeping me in here. So I've got the confusion. However, I get past it and I'm able to get the Z move off here, the Psychium Z stored power. I wanted to run like at least one Z move on this. Okay, so going for that. And I thought it was quite ironic too, it having the Shattered Psych as its a Z move because it's a dark type Pokemon. Anyway, so it's going to go for the Shattered Psych, playing a little bit of ping pong with the Oricorio Sensu form there, and it takes it out. So that's really good. Those boosts were enough to take it out, which was nice. I did burn up my Z move, but I wanted to get past that because that was quite strong against the rest of my team. So we have the Omastar coming out here. I can snap out a confusion there and go for stored power. I actually outspeed this, which is nice. And that does a fair bit of damage to it. So it's a 2-hit KO. It's going to be a physical Omastar going for the Waterfall. Since I got max health, that was probably enough to give me the bulkiness to lift that one. So the second stored power is going to be enough to take out the physical Omastar. That's cool. I like physical Master. Now we have the Quagsire coming in. Now, if this did have Unaware, right, let me explain a little, some little things about this. So with stored power, right, you are boosting your own stats, which is going to increase the base power of the move. So the base power of the move won't be affected by Unaware, just the stat boost to, say I raise my special attack. That's going to, if that's an Unaware Quagsire, it's not going to have an effect on it. However, I'm still raising the base power of stored power, if you understand what I mean. So I'm still getting that boost, the extra boost in the base power, but not the stat rise. If you just a little mechanic there if you weren't aware of that one. Okay, so probably one of my favorite sets on this team. I've actually run this before in the past. This is my Simple Beam Xatu. Now I actually got a sweep with this set. It's really, really cool. It's a little tiny bit redundant, but it's quite fun to run on this team. So swapping the opponent's ability to Simple. Now with the skill swap, I'm going to swap our skills. Ability, sorry. I got tongue-tied with that one. So I'm going to get the Simple ability. Now, what Simple ability does, it doubles the stat boost of a Pokemon. You say I use Calm Mind now, I'm going to get a +2 in special attack and a +2 in special defense. I thought this would work wonderfully on this team with stored power. And I've got the early build ability instead of Magic Bounce because I don't really want to give the Magic Bounce. That's quite a good ability. Anyway, so going for Calm Mind now, getting my stats up, which is cool. I'm going to make myself nice and bulky in special defense, and I'm going to be able to go for the stored power, which is like 4 stat boosts from that. Okay, however, this was a flash I nearly called it Venomoth, and I nearly called it Venonat. Okay, anyway, so we have the Dustox here. It's going to be a special Bright Powder scummy toxic stalling set. So the best I could do here was go for stored power on this. Unfortunately, I couldn't do much of this at all because it had Bright Powder and flashes up at the same time, and I just couldn't hit the damn thing, so I had to speed this bit up a lot. So bringing in Sigilyph, my last Pokemon on my team, definitely the best Pokemon that I had on the team for this theme. I went for the stored power right away there because I didn't want to waste any time. If this thing got like 6 flashes up with a Bright Powder, there's no way I was going to hit it. So this bit I had to speed up a lot too. So this was a Metal Burst layer on. Now, I knew Metal Burst would be enough to take me out in probably about 2 hits. So I had to get a lot of Cosmic Powers up. And I knew that I had probably more, just depending on what moves I had, I thought I had enough more PP than this thing. So I would need to get 6 Cosmic Powers up, and I knew there was a chance that it could be sturdy as well. So I got, I think there was a couple of mind games going on here at the end, but I got all my health back with Roost. This was a max special attack, max speed. Calm Mind, Cosmic Power to boost up my defenses and boost the power of stored power, Roost, and I also had Miracle Eye. Now, what Miracle Eye does, it's a psychic type move that allows you to hit dark type Pokemon with a psychic type move. So finally, I get down that Dustox. Oh my god, it took like 3,000 years. The last Pokemon is the Quagsire, and that's definitely not going to be able to live a stored power boost from the Sigilyph there. So the cool thing about Cosmic Power was I based, my stat of the move was increased, so therefore Unaware, wasn't effective. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed that one. It's a really long battle. I had to speed up a lot of parts in this one. Both of these battles were really, really long, like something else. Anyway, so we have another battle against DC King on my chat. So we have a Harry Armor lead, and I've got my Leaf on lead. So I was desperately trying to get this set to work. Alright, so I get flinched by Fake Out. I never saw that Fake Out coming either. So going for the Sword Dance, trying to boost my amazing special attack stat of the stored power, not my actual special attack stat. Anyway, so Harry Armor's going to go for a poison jab, and I'm like, okay, I'm probably going to get poisoned there. Of course, that's going to happen, and it does. So I've got Endure on this set, but unfortunately, since I'm poisoned, I can't make use of that right, because if I go for Endure, the Harry Armor's going to attack me, then I'm going to die to the poison, even if I get my Patea Berry boost. So I had to go for the store power. That's pretty good damage there. I would have liked to get another, like a Patea Berry boost off, and that probably would have done about 3/4-ish. But my Leaf one goes down. I know it's an absolutely terrible set, but it's me. I want to use it. Okay, so that's down. I think I just had Leaf Guard on that. You could, I don't know. It was just a terrible set. I had Yawn on it too to try and cause swaps, all those sort of things. Anyway, so going for the Spore on the Smeagol. That was just as bread and butter, so I could allow myself to set up. So the Harry Armor is asleep. Now, as I said, I needed to get the Aqua Pressure off, and I needed to get the Conversion. The Conversion was optional to turn myself into a Psychic type. That was optional. I didn't have to have Stab. But in this case, I wanted to, because it's me. So I've got the Psychic typing, which is cool. Now I can go for the Aqua Pressure. Now, I wasn't sure whether this had Bullet Punch or not. I was taking a big gamble here. So going for the Aqua Pressure, my speed raises. So it's not bad. If there's a speedier Pokemon in the rest of the team, I might be able to get a sweep. Okay, so going for Aqua Pressure again. The Harry Armor is actually staying in on the rest, which is good. And it's not waking up either, which is really good. I get a special attack raise. I'm like, yes, this is really good. Then the Harry Armor is going to go for a Belly Drum. I'm like, oh, this is not good. However, if it does have Bullet Punch, I knew that I'll be able to live it with my Focus Sash anyway. Okay, anyway, so it's going to eat the berry and become K. So I had the special attack rise, I had the speed rise. They're both going to bolster the power of store power, and I'm stabbed due to conversion, which is nice. Harry Armor goes down like a sack of potatoes, so that's really cool. I've got all the boosts in the world happening for me, so this is nice. Okay, so I've got my Focus Sash intact too. Now we have Golisopod, definitely not going to go for the first impression. Okay, anyway, so my first impression of this was to go for the stored power. So I'm going to go on the 1 health with a Focus Sash, which is cool. And I know that I wouldn't be able to take this out in one shot, obviously. I just wanted to get that emergency exit happening and do a nice chunk of damage to it. I knew that would probably be backloaded to finish off my Smeagol or any other of my Pokemon, but I was happy with how that went anyway. So now we have Mantine, a very, very bulky special defensive wall. There was nothing I really wanted to do against this, so I just went for the store power to see how much damage it would do, and of course it did monkeys, and it's going to go for a Scald. I could have played around there with Sleep, but, as you already know, that Golisopod is already sneaking around, so I thought I'd get a fresh swap in on the Mantine and try something out else that I wanted to try it. Now, if you remembered in the battle before, I had an Umbreon that had Wonder Room, right? Now, since Mantine is very bulky in special defense and not so much in defense, I thought maybe I could use that to my advantage. Anyway, so it's going to go for an Air Slash. I hope I didn't get flinched there. I'm going for the Workup now. Since I'm only running max health, the Air Slash is doing a little bit more damage than usual. And the Mantine is definitely bulky, and it gets access to Roost. Like, Mantine is a very bulky Pokemon. It does have that 4 times weakness to Electric, but it's got some really nice things about it. I've used it quite a lot myself. Sweeper, Tank, you can run like lots of different roles. Okay, so here I had I got flinched there by Air Slash. I knew that was going to happen eventually. It always does. This is where I was thinking, should I go for the Wish, or should I go for another Workup, or what are my options here? I went for the Wish because I wanted to get my health back, right? I need to get that health back. I really didn't want the Mantine to swap out either. I wanted to get this strategy happening. So I know that I can live another Air Slash in case it was a crit. That would be the only reason. I actually went down to that. I actually avoid the attack and get the Wonder Room off. So I'm like, that's really cool. Wonder Room looks kind of like Trick Room, but it's like pink, right? So the defense and special defense have been swapped. The actual raw base stats, which is cool. You don't get to see this move really often. Actually, I may even do a theme team on just purely based around Wonder Room. That'd be really cool. Anyway, so the Mantine's going to go for a Toxic. I've got Synchronize, which is going to give the Toxic to the Mantine, which is good. That's fine. I really wanted to see if I could take this thing out. It's really, really bulky. So I got the Toxic on there. That's only going to help me too. This Umbreon was a sweeper, so I wasn't really caring about that. Anyway, so I went for the Psychium Z Store Power. I could have got another Workup up. I really could have, but I thought, nah, bugger, I just want to see how much this does just with, just with a couple. So going for the Shattered Psych. I wasn't sure if this was like just a purely sweeping like max speed, max special attack Mantine, or was like a max health, max speed, or like a bulky one. That does a lot of damage, just missing the kill there, unfortunately. And I was quite happy with that. That Wonder Room definitely helped me out. Wonder Room, like if that wasn't up, that would have done like, would have been struggling to do half health to Mantine. Anyways, so Mantine is low. I could take it out with another stored power. That was my, that was my plan in this game. However, it had Roost, and I did think it would have Roost. It is a nice move on it. I remember in X and Y, you had to rely on stuff like Rest, Sleep, Talk, my favorite combo, and now it gets Roost, which is really good, really good. Okay, so going for another stored power does pretty good damage still, as you can see. The poison is going to be racking up too, so it's going to be like almost a stalemate here. We're both eventually going to go down to the Toxic, unless the Mantine swapped out, but the Mantine is around low health, and it will be easy pickings for another one of my Pokemon just come and take it out later on. So I wasn't expecting a swap. Anyway, so the Mantine's going to go for another Air Slash here. I actually went for a workup. I wanted to get like another boost up and be a little bit greedy and see how much I could do. However, I probably could have attacked in. That would have been enough to take out Mantine, but that's how it was. Or I was thinking it may go for another Roost or it may swap. That was my thought process at the moment, so I thought I might try and get another workup up. Anyways, so Mantine is almost down, so it's going to go down the next turn. Umbreon's going to go down the next turn, so it's basically, we're both going to get KO'd the next turn. Okay, so Mantine's going to go for the Scald. That's going to be enough to do, just enough to take out my Umbreon. And Mantine's going to go down to the Poison. However, that Wonder Room stored power really, that did the damage I needed to take out Mantine. So I was very happy with that. I got to use this set exactly like I wanted to. It was kind of made to verse bulky special defense Pokemon, to flip up their stats. I really love that move. So the Wonder Room wears off after we faint, which is quite ironic. Now we have a Purugly. So I've got I kind of named them in like Power 1, Power 2 as, kind of like, as the power numbers go up, the more, like, I'd say more powerful the Pokemon was, or the more, easier it was to set up. Anyway, so this was a very long bit here. Insert joke. So we have a Swagger Purugly, which is actually going to help my cause out, giving me a boost in attack, which is going to power up, my store power too. This is going to be a Psych Up Purugly. Now, I did get the Will-O-Wisp on it, which was nice. This was an Assist Psych Up Purugly. I like that set. It's cool. The quite funny, ironic moves was, the first move was a Dragon type move, right? And all the moves following it were like fighting type moves and moves that weren't going to do anything, like First Impression. Anyway, so it's going to eat a berry there. This bit I had to speed up a lot because it was really, it's just a lengthy part in the battle. And it hit me with Brick Break, Hammer Arm, and Dragon Pulse and First Impression. Finally, it gets a move that's decent against me, which is Liquidation, obviously coming from the Golisopod. It was a critical hit. That burn definitely saved me there. And finally, I'm able to finish off the Purugly this turn with actually got Stomping Tantrum then with the stored power. So that took quite a bit to take that one out. Alright, so back to the normal bit of the battle. So we have the Draogi here. Now I have store power, which would be nice against it. And I actually outspeed, so I'm like, that's cool. I wasn't running anything in speed. Does pretty good damage, but as you know, it has very nice special defense, and I didn't get many boost up at all. So that doesn't do too much to me at all. And the Sludge Bomb is going to be enough to take me out. However, I have 2 more Pokemon, and I want to try out my my Xatu, people. My Xatu. Okay, so the Xatu, this was a nice matchup for it. I thought, well, I could get rid of adaptability on it. That'd be a very nice start because that hurts a lot, its attacks. So going for the Simple Beam there anyway, just hoping it didn't have any stat boosting moves because that could be, this is a risky thing about this, right? It actually had Poison Touch too, so I'm like, okay, maybe it's more of a tanky set. Okay, anyway, so it's going to go for the Water Pulse. So I was like, oh, please don't get confused. It'd be really annoying. And I don't, which is good. Still hitting pretty hard. It's got the Black Sludge 2 for recovery. So I've given it Simple Ability. Time to skill swap and give it Early Bird. And imagine if it had Rest. Anyway, so I'm giving it the Early Bird and giving myself the Simple. Now I can go for a Calm Mind. Since I'm going to be bulky in special defense, right, I know that I'm going to be able to take this. I've got the berry there to live, allow me to live the next shot. I just live on 4 health. I get the berry, so I'm like, sweet, this is really good. Like, things are going absolutely perfectly. And I gave myself the wrong berry, right? I can't believe it. I was just kicking myself. I was like, I've got this as the perfect set, right? I can go for Calm Mind here. Since it's going to be a simple boost, it's going to be enough to live it badly. And I hit myself for confusion. Like, seriously, I was so annoyed by myself. I put the wrong berry on it. I should have put another berry on it there before. I wouldn't have got confused. And just a critical hit just to rub the salt into the wound. So I was annoyed with that one. I could have got the perfect, that would have been perfect, and Store Power just would have demolished, Dragon there. So we have the Sigilyph as the last Pokemon. You guys know what this set is. This is the Cosmic Power boosting one. I think, what was the item? I had Twisted Spoon on this. Got to get that extra damage, people. So I had the Miraquai and Stored Power, Cosmic Power Roost. Now, I actually didn't get to use Miraquai too often. Like, in all the battles, I was fairly lucky that there wasn't too many Dark-type Pokemon. If there was, this team would, obviously would struggle, since when Sigilyph goes down, that's basically, it's ball game then, unless I can, like, stall them out with, like, I don't know, like Burn from Will-O-Wisp or something. That's basically game. Anyway, so now it's going to go for the Sludge Bomb and Sigilyph. Gets me poisoned, but it's cool. I've got Magic Guard, which is a nice ability. You ignore all those kind of things. Like poison damage, stealth rock damage. Really cool stuff like that. So it's a very strong ability. You could also run Life Orb on it too. It actually has Acid. Now, Acid is a cool move. There's a chance for a drop in stats there. That didn't happen, which is cool. So I'm going for a couple of Cosmic Powers. I know there's one more Pokemon left that we haven't seen yet, and I thought I need a couple of that in case it's a really tanky set. Anyway, so it's going to keep firing those sludge bombs off of me. The only thing about this Cosmic Power set, it can be shut down by a critical hit. Obviously, it's a stalling set, so I didn't want to waste too much time setting up against it. So going for the Stored Power, that's going to be enough to take that out easy. It's super effective. And the last Pokemon, apart from the Golluspot, is the Beware. So I knew Golluspot would be coming in with a first impression, so I went for Stored Power on the Beware. That's going to be way too much for it to live, and that is down. The last Pokemon is the Golluspot. Now, since I had a couple of Cosmic Powers up, I was quite confident that I could live this in this point of the game. A critical hit was another thing, right? And I was below half health, but I reckon I had enough health, and I was quite confident, and I was, and I'm able to get the Stored Power off. That's going to be enough to take out the Golluspot, and that is game. I hope you guys enjoyed both these battles. I know they're quite long. Enjoy the bloopers and bonus battle. Peace out.